Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Mallorca Under the Sun, and today we're going to talk about what happens if you get COVID on holiday. So I'm up here in Calazinzel in Ilietes. It's a weekday and it's nice and quiet, so I thought I could film from this beach. So there's going to be loads of news coming out from the country you are in the coming weeks and months as to whether you are going to be able to come on holiday this summer. So this video isn't about this. It's about the good news that we have here from Mallorca, and also this applies to all the other Balearic islands as well. But before we talk about that, let's just talk about what would happen if you had a positive PCR or antigen test while you were on holiday here on the islands. Now, my first piece of advice would be to get retested, get another test, get a different type of test, and just make sure that, especially if you are not displaying symptoms, that you are actually truly positive before you go ahead and take the next steps. So the Balearic government launched last week to the German market something called a safety pack, and the press release to this is in the description text below this video. So the great news is that if you are coming to the Balearic Islands this summer and you catch COVID, that the government have offered to look after you at no extra cost if you are staying in a regulated or licensed hotel or other accommodation during your stay. So what does that mean? So firstly, it means that, and this may sound obvious, that you will not be able to catch your return flight home. But we have been told that the government will help you reschedule this flight if you have to stay on the islands. So if you do test positive, it does mean that the government will move you to a regulated or bridge hotel where you will have to quarantine for these 10 days, even if you are not showing symptoms of COVID. So if you are lucky enough to be working from home, then I would suggest that before you come on holiday, you bring your laptop. So if you are caught in this situation, you will still be able to work from the hotel as well if you are feeling well enough to do so. And also, for the worst case scenario, the government will also ensure that you have medical care if you do get sick. And absolutely worst case, they will also repatriate your body as well, should you die of COVID while you are on holiday. So all of this has been taken care of to make sure that, to give you confidence if you are thinking of coming out here on holiday this summer. So a call centre will be set up, and it will be staffed by German, English and Spanish speakers as well, to deal with queries from tourists who do come here and they do test positive and they are worried about what happens next. And when this call centre does open and travel is allowed, I will promote this over in my Facebook group as well for extra reassurance. Okay, so I hope this has provided a little bit of reassurance for you if you do have your package holiday booked here to the island, or you're planning on booking a holiday in the coming weeks. Now, let's talk about what would happen if you are not staying in a hotel and maybe you're visiting family or friends. So if you're staying with friends or family and you test positive for COVID, what do you need to do? Well, first of all, everyone you're staying with will have to get a COVID test. So just check out the link to my video, which you will find somewhere up here, and this will tell you more about where you can get COVID tests from on the island and how much they are. Now, the really good news is that since I last made that video, the government are wanting to standardise the costs of these tests, so charging no more than €30 for an antigen test and no more than €75 for a PCR test. And don't forget too that if you are a resident and you have COVID symptoms, that you can get a free test down at your local PAC as well, your local PAC medical centre. So also bear that in mind, that you won't actually have to pay for it. So if you and the people that you are staying with do test positive for COVID, then the authorities will be alerted and you'll be asked to quarantine at home if you are feeling okay for the next 10 days. And somebody from the local authority will then be checking up on you as well to make sure that you are sticking to the quarantine and making sure that your symptoms do not require hospital treatment as well. And since you won't be able to take your flight home, you will need to change your flight. And the great news is that most of the airlines now are offering free flight changes as well. So technically this really shouldn't cost you any further money apart from the difference in the flight cost. And if you have COVID travel insurance as well, then you'll be able to, or you should at least be able to reclaim this additional cost. So don't forget that this video just applies to Mallorca and to other Balearic islands. So if you're travelling somewhere else in Spain or hoping to travel somewhere else in Spain, please check the local government website for that particular region, because each region are doing their own thing this year in regards to the pandemic and in regards to restrictions surrounding COVID. Okay, so I hope, regardless of whatever the current news situation is at the moment, you found this information useful. And please go ahead and share it with your friends if they're also thinking about coming out to the Balearic Islands this summer. And don't forget to subscribe too, because there'll be plenty more content coming out on my channel about Mallorca and about travelling here as well throughout the summer. Okay everyone, I'm going to continue now on my morning walk through Cala Zinzel and through Ilietes, and I will see you on the next video. Goodbye for now.